Alright, what's up guys? I hope you're doing well. And today we're going to be doing a bit of a different kind of video. As you can see, this is the new video format. And I'm already sorry for the mic quality in this video. I'm trying to get it fixed, but today it did not really work. And I just wanted to make this video. So, this is the new video format. There's the camera and there's the screen. So, just saying, that's where I'm going to be looking for the majority of the video. And the new video style is basically a Word document, which I'll be linking as a PDF in the description. So you have a basic summary of the whole video. And today's video is going to be about the importance of foundations and foundations and foundations that are righteous. And that is going to be the topic which we'll be discussing today, starting off with the Bible verse of Matthew 7:24 to 28. I'll just read it for you, right? Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house. And it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And every one that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not, shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. And that basically encompasses the whole thing that I'm going to be telling you today, because this is basically everything that you need to know about foundations. I'll be going a little bit more into detail, as you can see here, and the important thing is that I actually forgot, is that this is Jesus speaking. So it's going to be read, because that's the same way as it is in the Bible. So, let's get into it. Yeah, this is the thing that I've been working on, that I've been doing mainly for the last, I'd say, month now. And it has been a pretty interesting thing to go about, because it has changed a lot of things. And the way I view things now, as opposed to, I don't know, the middle of August, for example, is drastically different. And yeah, I am very grateful that I do things differently, because the biblical lens is a lot more powerful than anything else I have encountered. And I started self-improvement in 2022. And these last 2 months, I've realized that I was wrong all along. And we'll be going into that step by step. Today, starting off with the foundations, because in my opinion, where's a better place to start than with the foundations? So kicking it off, why are foundations important? And foundations basically are the reason that people are the best at what they do. Look at the best people in some businesses. Sure, some of them cheated their way there, that's fine and all, but most people train the fundamentals to get to their role. The people that practice in their free time on their fundamentals are the ones that get to the top the best. The best thing that I can give you from my personal life is Kung Fu, because Kung Fu is something that I've been doing for almost 10 years now. And it's very, very vital that you have the foundations down. And one of the foundations is the forms. And the first form you learn in Kung Fu, you come to Kung Fu and you learn it in that lesson, a part of the Siu Nam Tao, which is the first form in the whole thing. Let me show you what it looks like. Here. This is the Siu Nam Tao, and it has a lot of movements, and it's beyond the scope of this video. I just want to deliver you the whole context. And the whole form is actually about doing stuff with your arms, like you do this, and then a lot of things. I think you didn't even see the second move because it was out of the camera. But back to the point, you do a lot of things with your arms. But the first four movements are getting into your stance. And the stance is this one right here. Basically, you have like an internally rotated position with your legs, and you're a bit bent on your knees. And that gives you the best stability in terms of your form. And this is the foundation of that form, because imagine if you did not do that foundation. One small shove, as you can see here, one small shove or a little push, and you will fall over. It's like a big thin candle. If you do this to it, it falls. But if you have strong roots, then you immediately begin to have stronger foundations, obviously. And these foundations will actually allow you to do a lot more than you think. Because with these foundations, you have a base to go on. The rock, as you can see, wait a minute. You have a rock to stand upon. And this rock allows the stuff you do with your arms later on. But if those legs are not in position, then everything you do after it is basically useless. So yeah, that is the reason why foundations are so important, in short. But there are also some other things why foundations are good. Foundations also make things easier in the long run. Imagine the person that practices their Sionum Tau for 1 month, like the whole form, not just these first movements, but the whole form, which is a lot longer by itself. If the person practices that for that whole month, their foundation will be very well built to continue on to some different form or to do some kind of other thing, which uninitiated people would have a very hard time understanding. And this is why foundations are very vital, because you get to have a very wide grasp of everything that you need to have. And from that, you can build up. It's like you have this much ground if you have bad foundations, and you can go to the top, but sometimes it will become unstable and it will fall. But if you build your foundations early, you have more ground to build upon. So you have more room, more basically just more space to do anything that you want on that space. And that is why foundations are absolutely vital. I'll do a little bit of a sketch here in the document for you. So this is the foundations that you have if you have bad foundations. You can go up, build like this, but imagine if you had thicker foundations. I fucked up a little bit. Give me a moment. Imagine if you had wider foundations. Imagine if you had this. Now you could be building something like this. And on top of that, you could be building something like this. You have a lot more room if you have the foundations down. And that is how you guarantee that you will be much, much better prepared for everything to come. And the coolest part about the foundations is that they are not the hardest thing to get down, because the foundations are the thing that you receive at the beginning and not the end. The first thing you learn, like one of the first things you learn in Kung Fu, as I said, is that Sionen Tao form. And if you get that form, everything falls into place because everything is in there. You can do everything, well, not everything, but a lot of things. You can do like probably 80% of things with just the Sionen Tao form. You've got a good stance, you've got the movements down, and if you master those movements, the only thing you need now is how to move properly with your legs. And you've got other forms for that. And if you learn those forms and combine these and learn what to do with them, the foundations will be huge. And your foundations, if they're good, you will succeed really well. So in short, foundations are extremely important to give you space, structure, roots, and very, very strong everything, to be honest. But foundations can actually be wrong as well. And that's why we get to righteous foundations. Now that we've discussed why foundations are important, I want to tell you why righteous foundations are the important thing and not unrighteous ones. Because here it comes. If you build something on wrong foundations, it will fall one day. See the person that has built their wealth on thievery and is taking from others. He will face the consequences of it one day in one form or another. Everyone that builds their foundations on an unrighteous principle will fall one day. I do not know what it is in your life, but I bet that you have something unrighteous. I probably do as well, and I probably need to uncover it. But everyone has some unrighteous foundation in their life. The best example here, if you want to go to the gym, I actually know a person in my real life who goes to the gym mostly for external validation. And one day, this foundation will crumble because you're not building on scripture, but you're building on your pride, your ego. You trust yourself and your ego more than God and Scripture. And the best example for what happens to pride and generally carnal sins, because sin is pride is a sin. Just look at Satan, what happened to him. He got yeeted from paradise. And look at where he resides now. I do not think that you want to join him, do you? So, that is why we really, really need to be careful about righteous foundations. And we'll get to that in a little bit more, in a little bit later. At the end, there's some actionable steps here. But for now, you really need to focus on building a righteous foundation, like in Matthew 7:24-28. Because if you can't, you will not be able to withstand those floods and winds and everything that will come at you, because you will be on sand. If that sand faces any sort of damage, or not damage, any sort of stress from the outside, it will crumble. And that is very, very dangerous. Next up, we've got the types of foundations. And this is what I'll be doing my next video upon. And this is for men specifically. These are the same for women, but yeah, this is not the role of this is not in the scope of this video. The 3 foundations for men are health, wealth, and relationships. And if you've mastered these, you have basically won as a man, okay? You need to build these on God, mind you, but you have basically won, okay? And in the next video, I'll be giving you a general idea of these foundations, because I have not mastered these myself yet. I am not anywhere close to mastering these, but I know that I have to master them, and I am on my way to doing so. But yeah, there are many more foundations, like the one in the form, and your everyday life can also have foundations inside of it. I do not know anything about you. You probably know more about me than me about you, so you have to analyze this for yourself. And last but not least, we've arrived at some actionable steps. Actionable steps are to analyze your own foundations and see if they are built upon the rock, and are they good values, or are you doing something for outside validation only? Because if you're doing something for outside validation only, then it's not built upon Scripture and righteousness, but something else. Probably something in your childhood, maybe. You might have been abused and you want some affection, or you want some recognition, validation. So yeah, you really need to be careful of that. And if you find something in that case, if you find anything and you're struggling with something, then just look it up on the internet. I've given an example right here for you. I'll go over these in a moment, but here, you search up something like pride in the Bible, or I don't know, greed in the Bible, or Bible greed, you will find something about it. And just look at it, see if there are any things that are said about this, because trust me, if you trust me, this is telling the truth, okay? You just have to trust me on that. I'll be getting into it a lot more in detail, and I'll say a little bit more about it at the very end of this video. Excuse my voice, it's dying a little bit. But yeah, another very, very good source about righteousness in general, about this whole thing, is Proverbs 10 in the Bible. Let's just read this together, okay? This one thing. The Proverbs of Solomon. A wise man maketh a glad father, but a foolish son is the heaviness of his mother. Treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness delivereth from death. The Lord will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish, but he casteth away the substance of the wicked. He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but a hand of the diligent maketh rich. And this goes on for 32 verses. And if you want some homework from me, because this is not the school type of homework which is completely useless, you can go over this whole thing, because this goes over righteousness. And the King James Version is pretty difficult to understand. I completely stand with you. But you've got the internet. You can translate words. You can make this understandable. And I've done this as well. I think I should do it again because it's been a while. But this is a very good start into righteousness. This Proverbs 10 is about righteousness completely. And that's why you need to build upon righteous foundations, because righteousness delivereth from death, and treasures of wickedness, which is pretty much the opposite of righteousness, profit nothing. So if you are building on wickedness, then there is no point in continuing, because it will profit nothing. The treasures will profit nothing. And to end this video, when pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. So if you're humble, that's when you can achieve wisdom. But when pride cometh, then shame cometh as well. And yeah, that's basically it. To the end of this video, I would like to mention the sources for what I have used for this video. And I've got 3 main people, which I'll link in the description, who've inspired me to make this kind of video. Because honestly, I think this is probably the most unique, or not unique, but unique to me, to say the least. I really like this type of making the video. I do not know why, but it just feels very, very natural. And to be honest, this is a very nice experience. So the 2 people, which are Alex Fedorsky and Christian Koziol, who have inspired me to make this sort of video. And I get a lot of my biblical knowledge from them and Robert Breaker. Those 3 guys. And yeah, this is going to be the type of content I'll make from now on, I think. And maybe some other things which are of my interest as well, which I can give to you. And the main purpose is just to give you value and something that you can really do something with. And that is all I have to say. I'll be leaving this document in the description as a PDF file, so you can have a short summary of this whole thing whenever you want. Thank you very much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this video format. For the next time, I'll get this mic working. Here it is. Here it is. And yeah, I wish you a great day, and I shall see you next time.